Welcome back to the Curtis P channel. As promised, I'm going through the kits that I talked about in a later video that seem to make my life that much more efficient and help me get things done when they need to get done. So this kit in particular here is what I call my car bag, or emergency kit, my E-kit, sometimes I'll note it as, but mostly my car bag. And this goes with me every day in my pickup, stays behind the driver's seat, kind of stands upright like this. If we go on trips in my wife's vehicle, I get it set up behind the driver's seat of the car, so it's easy to get to, but it's out of the way. It's by no means complete and comprehensive, but it's got enough in it to address a large variety of situations that are common while traveling. So I just kind of had it out to go through it because I do use it often and it kind of gets cluttered and some extra things get put in there. But I just went through it, kind of made an inventory list for it that I keep in it, just so it helps me double check if I've removed things, or maybe I don't cross-reference this list every time, but looking at it at least reminds me that, oh yeah, I did use the jump pack, or I did use the rain gear and didn't put it back in. So I'm going to go over this real quick as it packs, and I try and keep it as tightly packed as possible to keep as much air in it, or air out of it. This is the first item. It's just I think it was $100 at the time. It's a 12-volt alligator clips onto your battery air compressor, and a tire plug kit, full jug of rubber cement, the typical tools. There's extra caps, a tire pressure gauge, some small fuses, mostly for the compressor, not for anything else. I also have a few, like a tool for Schrader valves, taking the valve cores out. Some other accessories there for blowing up sports balls and inner tubes, that sort of thing. That's all that's in this first compartment. This compartment up here is just a coiled up hose for it that it came with. I can't tell you how many times I've used this compressor. I timed it once. I think it took around 2 minutes to re-air my tires on my pickup from 10 pounds to 65 pounds. So 2 minutes per tire. Again, you get better if you get like an ARB compressor or something like that. But I thought that was pretty good for a little more cost. So the second item on top, and the one I use probably just as much, if not more, as the compressor, is this NOCO battery jump pack. This thing is a lifesaver. You go to the drive-in. Typically we take our own radio. Our battery doesn't die, but lots of other people's do. This kit also goes, I don't know if you can see the buggy beside me. It goes with us when we go on trips with that. Just because I'm the guy that brings extra stuff to repair, to help people out of binds and that sort of things. Everybody's always has batteries dying on buggy rides because the radios are playing while they're sitting and stuff like that. So it's super simple. It's a NOCO Boost Plus, a GB40. I think it was $120 at Walmart. Really good deal. It'll do up to what's it say? I think it'll do up to a 6-liter gas engine and like a 3.5-liter diesel engine. That's on full charge. If it's got 1 bar, it won't even turn over a lawnmower. But on a full charge, it starts my half-ton pickup with no problem at all. I think that's got a 5.7-liter gas motor in it. So that's the jump pack. And I keep the cord that came with it. It came with a 12-volt, like a cigarette lighter style plug. I keep that in there. Plus, I also added a wall plug, so if I'm traveling and I use it, I can plug it in a hotel or whatever, recharge it so it's ready for the next go. The next thing in here is kind of well, this is a Pathfinder school, one of their OG nesting pot and bottle kits. I put a human gear lid on it. The pot's down in there. They're kind of hard to get out, and it shreds the bag up over time, but it's the best one I've ever used, so I keep using it. In here I have like aqua tabs, the hanger for hanging the pot or the bottle over a fire if you need to boil water to clean it. I have a handkerchief, I have a lid for it to keep ashes out if it's over a fire, some instant coffee, just an extra rolled up squeeze bottle, a lighter, a fold down cup so I can make something hot like coffee, put it in there, and then reboil more water for what you'll see in here later, which is like a mountain house. So that's the kind of my bottle kit, I could call it. Just kind of, I don't know, kits within kits, I guess. I have a 4x4 tarp, mostly for laying out on the ground if I'm on the roadside patching a tire or something like that and I'm dressed nice. Maybe I don't want to get covered in mud or get wet or whatever. Or if you just need to cover something in the back of the buggy if we're on a trip and it starts raining, you can throw it over there real quick with some bungee straps. This is my food kit. So I have 2 mountain houses, toilet paper, Pepto-Bismol. Of course, those 3 things go hand in hand. I have some greens powder tablets that just dissolve in your water, some wet wipes, some gallons of Ziploc bags, salt and pepper, wet wipes, and then 2 peanut butter packets. There's also electrolyte mixes in here, another lighter. Yeah, I think that's pretty much the gist of what's in the food bag. Next up, I have a top and bottom orange fold-up rain gear kit. It's pretty cheap. I got it from work years ago. Stuffed it in this old Thermarest bag. It's nice to just have a full set of rain gear to throw on if you're somewhere and you just need to be out, you need to be working on stuff, and you don't want to get drenched to the bone. I also keep in my pickup all the time a full set of Gore-Tex surplus rain gear, which, you know, obviously is way better than that. This is my tool bag, so I'm not going to take everything out of here, but I keep hot hands, rope, an extra dry bag, so if I just, same thing, kind of things are wet, nasty, if I need to throw a notebook in here, if I need to throw some extra clothes or electronics or something in here, I can. Also have a skinning knife, rag, needle nose pliers, some like coated tie wire if maybe an exhaust part drops or something, I can tie it back up, or anything like that. Kind of gives me some flexibility for tie wire. I got AA and AAA batteries. I have an extra headlamp in here. Typically I have one in my EDC backpack and in the door of most of our vehicles, but you know, 2 is 1, 1 is none kind of thing. I have a multimeter in here just for diagnostics. Honestly, I don't even have anything in here for electronic repair. It's just so I could know, so I could test a light, so I could test some circuit to see if power's sending, you know, test my alternator, make sure it's producing what it's supposed to, that sort of thing. The 10-in-1 screwdriver, a small crescent wrench, 25 feet of paracord, nitrile gloves. Some people think, you know, you're a little schoolgirl if you use nitrile gloves, you don't want to get grease and oil on your system. I'm not a full-time mechanic, I'm not on that road, so I don't want to expose myself to any chemicals I don't have to. That's the gist of the toolkit. I also have one of the kind of heavy-duty red on back space blankets and a Tractor Supply siphon kit that I took out of its packaging and just put in a gallon Ziploc bag. I just cut the instructions off the packaging. This is broken. Yeah, it's broken. That's why it's good to go through your stuff. the actual pump itself got cracked. That's not good. I guess I'll have to get a new one. But, dang it. That's why, the buggy is the main reason why I got this, because if someone runs out of fuel, you can siphon fuel from one buggy to another. That was the basics. So, I'm glad I saw that. Glad I did this video and went in depth with all this the second time, because I went through it and didn't catch it the first time. So, the last item in here is just a contractor garbage bag. Obviously, thousands and thousands and thousands of, not thousands of uses. There's many uses for this. Whether you need to make a poncho with it, you're just picking up garbage, maybe you want to go sled riding, whatever. There's hundreds of uses for that. So that's the basics of this kit. It all goes in that bag pretty easy. So far, I think one trip we had the car loaded down bad enough that I actually took everything out of this dry bag and I just packed it around the spare tire of my wife's vehicle, figuring that if it was to the point where we needed to use any of the things, it wouldn't be that big of a deal to unload the dog crates and stuff out of the back to get to the spare tire. So that's the gist of the kit. I'd say I've been using it for 4 or 5 years now, and it's been very useful. Again, the things I use the most are the jump pack and the air compressor by far. Haven't really had to use the emergency food or the bottle kit. I may have tied the exhaust up on my truck one time. That's the most of it. Most of it's insurance. You just have things with you to be prepared for when things go south, which happens when we're not expecting it. So, anyways, I guess that's a wrap on this video. Thanks for tuning in. I'm going to continue putting out these kit videos, hopefully in quick succession one another. Obviously, life's busy, got a lot going on, but I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you next time.